4 needed of 2 deliveries. Who would have thought from where the game was at one stage? We'll have plenty of time to break down this game, whoever ends up on the winning side. But we made an exception, come in live a bit early because we thought let's just share this excitement with you, our extended family here at Sports Today. 4 needed of 2 balls. You'd have to say the batting team's favourite from here.
Yeah, especially with AB Tewatia on strike.
Yeah, 12 of 2, he went and hammered 2 sixes. This is the guy who hit, I think, 12
for 5 sixes.
When they needed, around 30, 40 runs.
And same 4 of 2, Sam Curran, he just slapped it.
There he slapped it one more time.
And I think it would be 2 runs.
But they might run a third.
Or 3.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Oh, he's out.
Oh.
Are we getting a super over, man?
Oh, yes, it could happen. The first super over of IPL.
2 runs.
Yes.
Two.
It'll be 3
2 runs of 1 ball.
Yeah.
Would be counted. And Tewatia is out.
So it's Rashid, the snake, shot on strike.
That I think was a bit of a risk, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was.
Because while I agree that you should have gone for 3, but because it was Tewatia who was going to be running at the danger end, probably smart cricket would have said that unless he's
dislodged the stumps firstly.
No,
it's a clean one. Yeah.
That's fine. So I'm saying because it's Tewatia, you would rather have him on strike, better off, with him needing to.
But there is no difference between a Rashid and a Tewatia. Both are striking at 200.
I know, I agree. But with Rashid, it is hit or a miss.
Yeah.
It'll be a 6 or he could even give you a dot. With Tewatia, with the experience and the number of times that he's finished games, you would want him.
You would want him, yes.
I mean,
but I think he's
right?
kind of done his job. I mean, 22 of 11.
Yeah, but still, man, look, if you get 1 Yorker here, 2 runs needed of 1 ball, they even force a single.
Okay.
Super over.
No, wait, are they checking for a short run?
Possible. That changes the game.
No.
Oh, come on.
No, he's fine. May have been checking. Did he put his bat down?
He did.
So that's fine.
So yes, what is it with Savai Mansingh and thrillers? Last year you saw Sandeep Sharma do who was that guy? Willis.
SRH it was.
SRH and Abdul Samad hit a 6 of the next ball and SRH breached the fortress at Savai Mansingh. By the way, RR are in danger of not repeating their 2015 wonder because in 2015 they won first 5 games undefeated, but then we knew how the season panned out for them after that.
One thing that's really not worked in their favour is being slow on the over rate, which has allowed them, or actually not allowed them to have that extra fielder in the deep, which allowed Rajasthan, for example, in Tewatia's case, because they now knowing how good he is on the leg side, you're compromising the offside by having fielders inside the circle, and he's making full use of that by playing that stroke.
By lofting it.
Yeah. Correct. He's making full use of that.
I can't believe they took so much time to check whether they collected the ball cleanly or not when it was clearly evident.
And this was smart replay system which was meant to be quicker apparently.
No, I can't believe the kind of reviews that have happened in this match. There was one about White which was reviewed twice.
Yeah.
And it was like crazy.
Oh, and I think
that's a 4.
That's 4. GT have done it.
Oh dear Lord,
Rashid Khan. Man, oh man.
Oh my God.
I think a certain colleague of ours should look away from the TV while she's at home. Shalu.
Oh yeah.
She'll be really livid.
Yeah, there are lots of RR fans in our office.
Yes.
You've got Manoj.
Oh man.
What a game.
Why did we change our prediction?
Why did I change my prediction?
This game will make for an interesting reading, will make for very interesting analysis, because it's one of those games where the team that's won just remained under the radar throughout the chase. In fact, dare I say, remained under the radar for the entire duration of the match. When Rajasthan were batting, I don't think there was any moment in that game where you thought that they were behind the curve. Throughout their batting, with the way Sanju Samson was going and then the way Rihan Parag later chipped in, you were thinking they're cruising. Then the amount of runs that they get, we were sitting here mid-innings. I would have picked Rajasthan to begin with. My 2 colleagues had picked Gujarat but changed. I don't blame them, it did. And there were reasons, because 1, it seemed like it was an above par total, and 2, Rajasthan do have an outstanding bowling attack. That was done, and then if you look at Gujarat, apart from that opening partnership, they weren't that explosive that you thought, okay, they'll chase it. They were having a decent start, and then that middle order slump that they had, losing quick wickets. And then, look like, okay, Shubman will have to play an outstanding inning. Then he gets outstumped. There was no way throughout the duration of the game where you actually thought that Gujarat will do it until right at the death. I think it was just the last 3 overs when Tewatia and Rashid Khan were there. I mean, credit to even a Shah Rukh Khan that they just came out and pulled a rabbit out of the hat. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense.
I mean, if you look at it from 10.4, halfway of the innings, they still needed 118 runs more to win. But then the next 3 overs, if you look at 3.2, yielded 32. They are going at 10 per over at that particular point in time. Shubman chipped in. The partnership that he had with Vijay Shankar, that started the process, but he got out. Chahal was bowling really well at that time. When Shubman got out, we felt it was game over. But then that 19th over, bowled by Kuldeep Sen. I agree, Kuldeep Sen had taken 3 wickets. He had bowled well until that time. That in cutter, for example, that he got Abhinav Manohar out with. Fantastic. But you had 2 overs remaining of Trent Bolt.
That is the biggest mystery.
It's the blunder.
Puzzle. And it's not even, I'm not even going to go till the 20th over. I think the surprising bit was even earlier when he went in and gave Ravichandran Ashwin an over.
When has Ashwin bowled in the death?
Correct. And at that stage, I agree that, there was a left-hander in Tewatia. I think he had come out to bat by then. And maybe you thought you will go, but not at the cost of losing the game from there on, because you should have calculated. Agreed. I don't think I'll blame that Kuldeep Sen thing, because till that time he had an outstanding game. So I was going to bowl him those 4 overs. He had an over or 2 left. There was Avesh, who I was going to bowl the full quota of overs, and there was a Trent Bolt with 2 overs remaining. In fact, I could have let go of 1 over between an Avesh and a Kuldeep, and let go of that over that Ashwin bowled and given Bolt both, and that was a no-brainer. I just can't understand. And again, I'm not saying it in hindsight when we were watching the game, and I was wondering, why is he not going with a Trent Bolt? And exactly at that moment when he gave Ashwin that over, I was like, why are you not going with Trent Bolt? Will he be able to finish those many overs? And if he had gone to Trent Bolt, it would have been either Avesh or Kuldeep would have been under bowled. I just could not.
Let us understand one very important thing here. The matchup situation and the left-handed thing for Ravichandran Ashwin works in only red ball cricket. It has never worked in a white ball cricket. Yes, especially in T20. As you went to Australia thinking that okay, maybe Ashwin will have a hold over the left-handers. When he bowled to Miller at Perth, he was carted. Ashwin has never done well in white ball cricket, especially to even left-handers. That left-hander matchup is only there for red ball. When has Ashwin bowled in the death? And today, he went totally out of the syllabus thing by trying too many carom balls. Carom ball 1 was short, and surprisingly, Ashwin didn't learn. 1 more carom ball, short. When will he stick to convention that has helped him? Does he try too many variations in red ball cricket? He doesn't. That is the main reason why none of us are ever a fan of picking Ashwin in T20 cricket, and we all express shock. Why was he parachuted? Ashwin at this point, many people will say, oh, but you are a fan. No, I was never a fan of Ashwin in T20 cricket. But I'm a fan of Ashwin in red ball cricket.
But can I be fair? I don't think Ashwin is the reason they've lost the game, in the sense overall. But yeah, bowling Ashwin at that stage, that was a wrong call.
But carrying the problem of just having economy only and not taking wickets will come back to bite you.
No, but that's a larger point, no, Siddharth? That whether you play him or not, or do you have another option that you go with, that's another thing. I think till now, with the way Rajasthan is bowled, it's kind of worked, this bowling combination.
It has gone under the radar.
Yes, it has, but it has kind of worked for them. He's been economical. I'm saying, like, for example, today, because, okay, earlier I want to blame them because typically Rajasthan has been that one team that even though they have a few bowling options in, let's say, Tewatia, as well as they've had Aryan Parag, who's an option, who once in a while they go to. In Tewatia's case, they haven't even done that, but predominantly they are a team that go with 5 bowlers. And so in that scenario, I understand that you get a Ravichandran Ashwin to do those 4 in whichever situation you do. But today was an exception. You went in with a Keshav Maharaj. you had that sixth bowling, proper bowling option. I'm not looking at part-time, it's proper bowling option. So in that case, there was no need for you to have gone with the full 4 overs of an Ashwin, especially in that situation, especially when you had Bolt left. And I know that people will talk about Bolt, the new ball bowler, who he does very well. But Bolt, the death bowler, has also been, rather good. And Bolt, the death bowler, with his experience, I would take any day over a spinner.
Correct.
Over a spinner, that too, R. Ashwin. So I don't know what Sanju Samsung was thinking, and I think probably that's one reason where we are thinking, right, 90% of the game, Gujarat is behind the curve, and yet they win, and that remains a puzzle. Maybe those answers.
Three major things really. See, first off, your two most economical bowlers on the day were underbowled. Who are your most economical bowlers? Trent Bolt and Keshav Maharaj. Both only got 2 overs. Now, are you telling me you couldn't have taken 1 over from Ashwin or 1 over from even a Kuldeep Sen later on? Because Kuldeep's problem, and I remember this for the past 2 seasons, is that he's very good in the middle overs. But RR have forever tried to make him a death bowler, and it hasn't quite worked.
I mean, see, it did work once when, in about 2 years ago.
In 2022, his first season.
Marcus Stoinis, he kept him quiet at that time.
That's the only game. He's living off that reputation now. It's 2024.
Yes.
And mind you, this year Kuldeep Sen's not even been a regular in the side. He's only playing this because I think Sandeep Sharma would be.
Sandeep Sharma,
so
yeah.
That's the thing. If you had a Sandeep Sharma, then you would have had no questions about either bowling him. Why not go to Bolt? I don't understand. Bolt bowled in the death for MI when they won their last title in 2020. What exactly?
In 2019, he bowled New Zealand that final second last over. Before Lockie Ferguson, he had bowled over and gotten Jadeja out.
Exactly. So I don't understand why they're not going with Bolt. Fine, I understand, difference between him in the power plays and him in the death. But again, he does have the experience. He's done it. What's the harm in going? It would be a much better option than going to Ashwin, who at that point all the bowlers were looking at as being a gimme over. And Siddharth, to add to your point, see, there's nothing wrong with Ashwin being an economical bowler, but then what that requires is that everyone else will cover for him when it comes to the wicket side of things.
That didn't happen today.
Other than Kuldeep.
And most of the time, if you look at it in the Rajasthan, why was that slump happening? Most of the bowlers couldn't get the wickets. That was why the slump happened. Otherwise, even in 2022 and 2023, they had made good starts. But they couldn't carry it on.
And also, this is really coming back to when people were talking about, RR look very strong, and why I was a little bit hesitant about this team is because they have the tendency to do this. They'll start very strong. They'll look like the best team ever constructed. Then they'll end up losing one match in the most inexplicable of circumstances, and you're wondering, there's this one weakness and they haven't quite fixed it. For me, now this year what they're doing is to fix their 6th bowling option. Because for 2 years we've been crying hoarse about they only have 5. Is that they're using the impact sub and ensuring that the 6th bowling option is also a pure bowler. But if you have 6 pure bowling options and you're still finding yourself in a conundrum, then the captaincy needs to be questioned.
I mean, look at it. In the middle overs, what stopped Sanju from not bowling Keshav Maharaj?
Yeah, give Keshav a 3rd over. He was economical in comparison to the others.
He conceded a 6, yet in the next 5 balls, he just bowled conceded 3 runs in the first over. After that, he conceded 7. Keshav Maharaj is a very skillful bowler. If India has forgotten, he was the lone bright star in that India-South Africa semi-final, in the match that happened at Eden.
I remember.
He was the only bright star there with the bowling. Kept Virat quiet, bowled Shubman with a peach. Now, why did they not utilize him and ensure that, okay, Kuldeep Sen, not a death overs bowler for the past 2-3 years, he could have at least bowled 3 overs and ensured Bolt got an over. Avesh would have bowled, but again, plan B didn't work for Rajasthan Royals because Avesh Khan in the last 2 games has been found wanting.
In the death.
RCB game, he was the one who gave away gimme balls to be bowled at, and Kohli capitalized on it. Here, 2 overs for 35. The game had swung. And it swung from Ashwin's over.
And also, if you're looking at it, he had 2 runs to defend off the last ball.
He bowls it short and wide.
I didn't understand that. Your biggest strength as a death bowler is that you have the ability to nail the Yorker. Why not go for the Yorker, let them dig it out, if they run 1, which seems unlikely because then if you've dug it out and you've dug it out to the person inside the 30-yard circle, there's every chance of affecting a run out, winning the game by 1 run. We're not even having this discussion. Went for a short and wide ball, which...
And Rashid, he uses either that scything cut or uses the snake shot. Both in his arc.
Exactly.
And if Avesh Khan needs any lessons, ask Chris Jordan. He suffered from both. Bowled it short and wide, Rashid would cut him. Bowled it full, hit it over mid wicket. That's the thing.
Okay, that's why Rajasthan lost, but also let's take a look at why Gujarat Titans won. So, certain things that Gujarat did well, and I think if you ever needed an example of a game where, we often talk about T20 cricket is not always, the peaks, but it's the sum of the entire parts put together. I think this particular game is the perfect example. Yes, there is a Shubman Gill that stands out with 72 for 44. Having said that, it's still, as I said, majority of the game didn't seem like Gujarat will win. Why? I think what is really important, and sometimes we really miss out on that and don't focus enough, are those little contributions that you will see of that lower middle order. Okay, let's start with the Vijay Shankar, 16 of 10 at a strike rate of 160. Rahul Tewatia, 22 of just 11 at a strike rate of 200. A Shah Rukh Khan, I'll add to it, 14 of just 8, a strike rate of 175. Rashid Khan, a strike rate of 218, 24, 11. And by the way, these are all batters that are capable of doing it. What I think GT is showing you, and again, this is, because we often talk about strike rates and how you need to approach games, strike rate from the start. There is no situation or no time in T20 cricket to relax. Which is why I say, and I go back to the Virat Kohli point, it's not always fair to be looking at Virat Kohli's strike rate in that sense, because I think T20 cricket still has that scope, provided you have a plan in place. So provided you have a few batters who will push that innings longer, but you utilize your lower order to do this. Majority teams, if you can get 140-50 strike rate big scorer or two big scorers, and then your lower order of 200 strike rates, 170 plus 200 strike rate of small thing, I think that is kind of an ideal T20 formula, wherein you don't need everyone to bat long, you need just few guys. The ones who bat long can be allowed to bat at a strike rate. I'm not saying less than 130, I think 130 now is a bare minimum. So again, also pitch, but let's take a good proper T20 pitch as an example, where 190 is like a par total. That's become a typical T20 pitch. There also, I'll take a 130, or if not 130 or 140, that kind of strike rate, provided that guy at a consistent basis keeps giving me 50 plus scores, 60s, the 70s and 80s. Then I need 5, 6, or at least I'll pack my batting order with 6 absolute dashers, out of which all 6 won't do, but if 3 or 4 of them can come good on a given day, who give me those 20s and 10 with a 200 strike rate, I think I have the perfect formula to be getting me that kind of runs. And I think GT understand that, because what would most teams do when you're chasing about 200 runs? You have to go ballistic from the start. They didn't. And at one moment, most of us who would have been watching would have been questioning that strategy. Is that the right way to go about it? Maybe not. Maybe they're miscalculating. They're going to leave too much for the rest of the batters to do. But as it turned out, despite that mini collapse that they have in that middle order, yet they found a way. So I think this is sensible batting. This is smartness. This is what they're showing. T20 cricket is also not always eyes closed and just go after it. And on why I say this is a plan, if you see towards that point where Shah Rukh Khan is getting out, Vijay Shankar is getting out, they're going, you look at the Gujarat Titans dugout, they're not panicking. Mostly what would happen if that situation, because you've left too much to do in the end, and when they're getting out, it seemed like to me that when Vijay Shankar went out, after that a Shah Rukh went out, you could see an Ashish and everyone, even a Shubman Gill, patting them, saying good, big. And I was like, listen, these guys know what is happening. These guys know that we are within the range. All we need is like these quick fire 170 to 200 strike rate 20s, and we can do it. And sure enough, probably we saw the picture much clearer when it was the 18th or the 19th over, where it did seem like 30 or 2 overs,
35 of
game on. And I think this is something that they saw it earlier. And I think this is the strength of Gujarat Titans throughout. What that tells you, that the captain might have changed, but the core culture, if you see the season they won, if you see the season they reached the final, they were always a team that was playing percentage cricket. They were never the mad, going ballistic kind of a team. They were playing percentage cricket, and as if they had this formula written down. that let's stick to this and we can win it. And that's what we're seeing with Gujarat, and I think that is what really stands out for that.
It's a team batting effort. They are playing like a team. There is not one individual who contributes entirely in this case. RCB, if you look at it, they are hamstrung by that because their batting just is not consistent. Faf is inconsistent. Glenn Maxwell is inconsistent. I mean, what has hurt RCB even more is Faf's bad start.
Yeah.
Last year, all those things were hidden under the radar.
So I'm just saying they take Shubman, and which is why I'm drawing that comparison. He's played a Virat Kohli-like inning.
But the strike rate's way better though.
Yeah, but Virat got 100 plus.
113 at a strike rate of 156.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that's the difference of the strike rate of 8, but see so much more runs. So I'm saying if you are taking 40, 45 more runs of a Shubman, I don't mind sacrificing 6 runs of the strike rate.
Yeah,
If
but
it
the
was
others then have to.
yes, but that's what I'm trying to say. So while we were all, at that time, and they lost, RCB lost, so I think it added on to the thing.
Also
but
different
if the
context.
but I'm saying if the rest of the guys, because see again now there was the other thing was the bowling that Virat faced it, but it's the similar bowling that the Gujarat faced today. So what I'm saying is the problem at RCB lies that you can afford to have a Virat who will give you the chunk of the runs, like Gujarat can have Shubman, at that strike rate. But where Gujarat, Sai Sudarshan keeps chipping in with some valuable runs, or later Tewatia will chip in with lots of
Rashid.
runs. Miller was doing it earlier. Today, Shahrukh did it to that, or Rashid comes up. If you have other people, as I said, in RCB also step up, then that can be a team that can win on a given day. That day, instead of a 183 that they got, if everyone else chipped in, it could have been a 203 or a 199. So the others needed to do it. Exactly what Gujarat
Because we didn't have that criticism for Virat in the Punjab Kings game. Punjab Kings game, what happened? A Lomror, a DK chipped in, Virat's knock of 77, almost on the same strike rate of 150 plus that he was playing at. But context was different. Chasing is never an issue with Virat. There he can operate with any strike rate that he wants because he calculates in that sense. So his chasing is never flawed. But here, Shubman Gill knew the target. But Virat is setting the tempo.
Yeah, but if you're also setting, others need to step up, man.
Correct.
Which in the case of RCB is self-inflicted.
If he also starts closing his eyes and batting the way, that RCB team more often than not won't even get 150 runs.
But even
Because nobody else gets any runs. At least with him batting like that, they reach 83s or the 90s for them to give themselves a chance. If, by the way, if he was to go all out and throw caution to the wind and bat, he gets out at 20. That RCB team is not getting 120.
That is the problem. In 3 games now where they have batted first, he's had different styles of a tempo. One, in the KKR game, he just couldn't increase because he knew how feeble the batting lineup is. In the RR game, he had to bat on because either he was set in and he looked to push the team to a bigger score by himself. In the CSK game, he was playing 21 of 20, it was a very mixed innings. You all were saying, okay, he didn't get strike in the power play that often. 3 contrasting knocks, but all 3 have ended in losses.
And actually, all 3 of them have contrasting power plays also, because in the CSK game, didn't get much strike in the power play, right? In the KKR game, he was pretty good in the power play, but then threw most of that start away in the middle overs where his strike rate was about 130. Then in the RR game, it was the power play that was the problem. 128 strike rate, but it was in the middle overs that he was striking at about 150, 60.
Yes.
So again,
even death he struggled.
Yeah, death he struggled because it was 13 of 10.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't understand, and I do get it because again, their problem is unfortunately even
self-inflicted.
Last year, yeah, self-inflicted because their batters aren't getting runs. Also, to make things worse, the few batters who do get runs, you're either A, not giving them the opportunity, you're sending God only knows who to bat over DK. Don't ask me why. Mahipal Lomror has had 2 impactful knocks and he's not even being used as an impact player. He's on the bench. You've got a Will Jacks who scores 40 ball hundreds but is being kept out by Maxwell's name. A name value is coming in there. No, fine, I understand.
And Green's monetary value.
Oh, don't even start there. That 16.5 or 17.5 crores is proving to be like they say albatross.
It's a big albatross.
It's not even an albatross at this point.
It's like a noose.
It's a boulder. It's just hanging there and they have to play him.
It's a noose that is slowly tightening and tightening. Because see, that was why Why on earth, I've done the video, why on earth have RCBs, did they do an auction strategy in a parallel universe? See, every team that has depth in the batting is winning. Gujarat are playing percentage cricket because they have the depth. Right from number 1 till number 9, all can bat. Even a Spencer Johnson can throw his bat around.
CSK, KKR. What is the thing we always say about them? Deep batting.
Deep batting.
Packed with power hitters.
Sunrisers Hyderabad also, if you look at it, they've got deep batting. RCB's problems are self-evident. GT, for the start that they've had, is very surprising because they won against MI. All have been close margins, but all of them have chipped in somewhere down the line.
That's the key. And that is the GT way. That is what was defining them even in the last 2 seasons. You couldn't for the life of you pick 1 or 2 players who were doing the majority of the work. Everyone was chipping in.
Exactly.
And that's what really made such a difference.
I mean, look at it. Who would have thought that from 79 for 3 in 10.4, needing 118 to win of just 56 deliveries, you would have a Vijay Shankar change the tempo.
That 16 of 10 was being panned upstairs by certain people saying, what sort of batting was he doing? In hindsight, that 16 of 10, 3 boundaries was actually
32 in 3.2. You got back up to the rate that allowed Rahul Tewatia and Shah Rukh Khan to do what they could do,
And
along with Rashid. That is the thing. You needed that blitz of a partnership, but yes, the 16 of 10 will just register as a footnote. Broader match, no one will say, oh, he just got 16 of 10. What was the difference? 160. And looking at where he's batting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, Vijay Shankar normally bats at 4. But he's batting out of position and he did well. But 16 of 10 will not be counted. I know many people.
It will not be counted, but impactful it is. That's impactful. Shah Rukh's 14 of 8, playing his first game for GT.
First game for GT, yes.
It's an impactful
Long
knock.
overdue.
It's an impactful knock because again, it ensured that the scoring rate, which was high, did not actually end up consuming them, engulfing them. And that's the key. They could win it off the last ball.
And somewhere down the line, a 14 to 17 rate per over zone is right up A.B. Tewatia's lane.
Even Rashid.
Yeah.
You knew having those two there, you're like, if anyone can really pull it off with fearless batting, it's these two guys.
And today, the other refining thing about Rahul Tewatia, most of the shots were offside. That is the
I
best
think
part.
that is because the opposition teams have kind of figured out that his leg side game is strong. So they're feeding him there and he has no option because he has done even that shuffling bit so many times that they've figured out and bowled much wider where he wasn't getting wide. So he decided against shuffling and he had to play. So I'm sure just as bowling units have figured out that that's his strength, he himself has figured out it's not that I can't play on offside, I will. As I said, they were also, in that sense handicapped by the fact that they didn't have that luxury of that one more fielder outside the circle. And if there was any place where they were going to compensate, it was going to be the offside for Tewatia. They did it and he said, great,
fine,
what
I'll take the
do
runs.
I'll take the runs. He did it. Okay, let's turn our attention to 2 things that will be the biggest talking points from this game because they involve our favorite team collectively, which is
India.
Yes.
the menu.
Indian. Yep.
So almost every day it's become a norm that we do talk about the T20 World Cup somehow or the other. It just fits in. So today is going to be no different because many contenders were participating today. 2 really standout performers, and let's talk about them one by one. One is Shubman Gill, the other is Sanju Samson. Let's start with Sanju Samson. What does this do to his prospects of taking that flight to New York,
Very,
and
very
the Caribbean islands?
Yeah, very good because again, his problem always has been starts well, tapers off. And then, I hate saying it, but he's probably the easiest guy to discard. Very soft target. You know he has a passionate fan base, but how does it matter? The justification will always be international, this is his numbers. T20 Is, this is his numbers. ODIs, this is his numbers. Ignoring the fact that he's more often than not, in the Indian colours at least, being asked to do a job way out of position. He's not a finisher. He's trained himself to be one because he was told by the Indian team management, listen, you're going to be playing as a finisher. What he's done, and he's adopted that mindset, which is very interesting for a batsman who has, let's say, aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but that aggression which he's brought on and the way he's scoring his runs, even at 3 or 4, I mean, if Pant could be considered as a finisher batter batting at 4 for DC, then, I mean, by the same yardstick, Sanju's doing his chances, no harm whatsoever, getting those big runs, getting it at a very good strike rate.
with the bat, he's looked far more assured than a Rishabh Pant. But then we know the backstory of Rishabh Pant. I mean, coming back after 14 months, that also leverage has to be given, okay?
What leverage is it? So you're going to pick up player on the basis of the backstory, or who's...
We all know how the Indian cricket psyche works. That is, if Rishabh Pant is selected, it will be on that EQ factor.
As well.
Emotional quotient. What a comeback. Oh, he had suffered that accident. 14 months later, he's done well for DC, and boy, is he come back into the Indian cricket setup. What a story that will be, right?
No, that may be a factor, or this is how fans and general public at large may think. But do you think the ones that would be tasked with the responsibility of picking the team will also weigh in the EQ?
On the surface, the Indian selectors are not like that. On the surface. But we have seen a lot of flip-flops happen in the Indian cricket setup. I mean, when Rohit and Virat came back in the Indian T20 team, you yourself did a video with the title that it was a big U-turn. It was a big U-turn. Because...
No, but in that case, yeah, sure. In that case, it was because for 1 year you played without them, and as soon as the T20 World Cup approached, you brought them back. So it seemed like a U-turn of the approach. Like
yes.
You were going with a young team, but you've gone. It was a U-turn. But in Rishabh's case, I ask you a question, as you say that the backstory of that the accident and all of that will also play a part in the selection. I just want to know whether that is going to weigh on the minds of the selectors who would be picking the team.
Look, there have been certain statements released by...
You and I can think like that, or fans can think like that, but will the...
Then why did the BCCI secretary give out a statement on Rishabh Pant?
He's a fan too, na? But will he be
But
selecting...
can he go by that judgment? Because if he's a selector...
No, he's not a selector.
He's not a selector, but if he's running Indian cricket, can he express his opinion in that sense?
He may be running Indian cricket, but I don't think he has a say in selection, right?
He will not. But can he be allowed to say that?
No, I mean, as the leader of the board in that sense, which is actually the president, but now in this case it's been the secretary for the last few months. I mean, he can always speak about incredible story that he's witnessed, and I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure, it's a fine line.
You're praising, and that is also bucking up a youngster, right, who's come back, and I think Rishabh deserves all that support. So if you are the father figure, he may not be that old, the secretary, but I'm saying because the position is such of being the father figure of the board, you have to send out the right noises to get him back, right? To motivate him. What's wrong
because
with
see,
that?
the motivation...
That may not directly mean about selection.
Valuable asset to the Indian cricket team. Those were one of the words that
but
he did say. But then on current form, you will look at current form at this point in time.
I am saying, yes, current form, but valuable asset, there are multiple formats. So for example, if I call him a valuable asset, probably I'm picking the test team and he's shown me absolute fine fitness right now. He's wicket keeping, batting. I would be tempted to take a Rishabh Pant in my test team. So he's a valuable asset.
So valuable asset, but now
T20,
at this point in time, it's not the BGT that's happening. Exactly. I could have understood if he had said it at that time.
So then how do you think that he comes back?
He said it in the backdrop of an IPL and a T20 World Cup selection that's going to happen in the next 20 days. That's going to happen. And see, as far as Sanju is concerned, for the first 5 games, he has done what he had to do. Now his main challenge will be to do well for the next 4 games, because I think when the squad has been selected, 9 games would have been played. 8 to 9 games would have been played by most of the franchisees at that time, or more, maybe a 10. Sanju's main thing now, in 5 matches, he's got 3 half centuries. His keeping has been very steady. If I have to look at pure batting alone, he outshines Rishabh Pant. He trumps Pant on pure batting alone. Sanju and Pant, where, as I have been discussing upstairs also and with a lot of my colleagues, that Sanju and Pant are both making it to the 15. But who starts, that's a different thing altogether. On current form, Jitesh
is out.
Jitesh has not given me that confidence. I'm sorry, and I think...
But he was your, till the last series, he was your first choice wicketkeeper batter.
But I think he was a stopgap.
So 4-5 games, stopgap. Lest we forget, before even the accident, I think you had discarded Rishabh Pant from T20 cricket. So how does he become a stopgap? You had Sanju Samson available, you had KL Rahul available, you had everyone available, you had to pick Jitesh. Not only picked him, you played him.
But Jitesh has not inspired confidence.
Sure, that is another thing, but that's a fair point. But I'm saying till the last series you were playing, he was your first choice wicket-keeper batsman, not a compromise. Your first choice wicket-keeper batter of the team. I am not talking whether I am selecting the team, it's the Indian selectors who are selecting him. He was your first choice wicket-keeper batter. So you're saying after 4-5 IPL games, you change. Will you do it with everyone in the thing, everyone in the team? Okay, let's leave certified legends aside, but everyone else, you will see 4-5 games not doing well in IPL, out. So you'll do that with Yashasvi Jaiswal? 4-5 games not good, out. Will you do it with I don't know, you've got who's your number one bowler is Jasprit Bumrah, who's your other
Siraj, Avesh.
So Siraj doesn't have a good team, he's out. Will you do it with a Kuldeep Yadav, who's going to be your other spinner, not having good 4-5 games? Will he be out?
See, in the case of
Will they be out?
In the case of Jitesh, yes. In the case of Yashasvi, yes.
They'll be out. No chance.
Because see, it is the question of starting. Look, they'll be there in the squad.
How?
No, but how does Jitesh make it in the squad?
No, he doesn't. You just gave the two.
I'm saying Jitesh is not there in the squad.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because see, in the
so
matches,
you have let go of the first choice wicketkeeper batter till the last time India played, basis of 5-6 games of IPL. Then by the same yardstick, you will let go of Jaiswal also, Kuldeep Yadav also, everyone. I would not.
Bowlers are a different yardstick altogether. Because Kuldeep is injured.
Yashasvi Jaiswal just not.
Kuldeep is injured.
Yashasvi Jaiswal, I gave you an example.
But Jaiswal, I've said no, he can't be playing.
If tomorrow, I'm just saying, if tomorrow, let's say Rinku has had 1 or 2 good knocks, but let's say if he did not, let's say he failed in the 5-6 games he's played, he'll also be out.
As I've said,
you spoke about batter.
Look at 2022.
Answer my question.
Rinku is a starter.
No, but I said if Rinku failed in these 5 games, he was out.
No, they'll have to back Rinku.
So how does that?
I'll tell you why. Because Rinku is a certified starter for the position that he's batting in. There is no other challenger to Rinku.
Why? There are people saying so many finishers that you have now, go with anyone. That's why I'm saying no.
Who are the finishers apart from Rinku?
There is a Shashank Singh who's doing that. There is a
Ashutosh Sharma.
There is a Rashid Tewatia who's just doing that. I'm just saying that way.
Those three have not been part of the.
Do this based on 5 games change.
In the case of Rinku, it'll be according to the position and situation.
Yeah, so you're cherry picking.
Can't be cherry picking. You see,
you are cherry picking.
There is nobody else.
For some people you say, okay, no, bowler is different batter. I give you a batter example. No, this one I will keep, that one I will not keep. Then I say that, 5 bad games, form is not good. I give you example of other fail. No, them I will keep. So
but even in the case of Jitesh, whereas he inspired me the confidence, even at the time when he played those T20s against Australia or against Afghanistan. After Afghanistan, he was dropped. That's why Sanju came in.
We took out comparative stats of all 3 batters and we looked at all the 3 and we did not look at T20 eyes because they've hardly played and that included Jitesh Sharma, that also included Sanju Samson because they not played too many. So we looked at IPL last 2 seasons and the stats were there for everyone to see. I think in that race there was Sanju that was ahead and I think Jitesh came in, started in second ahead of a Pant. Yet we find ourselves in a situation where Pant is now an automatic choice and how that has happened I'm finding it tough. That's why I'm trying to understand.
As I said, the EQ factor also. The selectors might be swayed by that also, but on the surface they'll say no, it had nothing to do, he had a very good IPL.
Okay, Shivam.
सर अगर केएल राहुल ने कल को सेंचुरी मारी थी 2 मैचों में तो जैसे हम संजू को कंसीडर कर रहे हैं केएल को भी करेंगे.
Okay, but you want to answer Shivam, our producer's question?
Well, I will not consider a KL Rahul. No, because he's not batting in that position.
But neither is Sanju batting in that position.
Any keeper, by that logic, you have to pick Jitesh only.
No, I'm just.
No, but Jitesh has not inspired me confidence.
So fine. One second. So you are saying that you will bat a top order batter at number
6 or 7.
Yeah, so you say KL you will not take because he's a top order batter and he cannot bat. But then Sanju is a top order batter, you're ready to bat him.
But he's batted in the lower order for India.
No, where?
For India,
What is
5
it? No.
in the ODI setup. He was number 5.
ODI setup, Baba, we're talking about
But
T20
where has he gotten
cricket.
chances in T20
In ODI
cricket?
setup, to KL Rahul also batted middle order.
But where has he gotten chances?
1 second, one by one. One by one. So you are saying KL Rahul, you will not consider because he is a top in T20, he is a top order batter. He cannot bat in middle order. But Sanju Samson you will consider who's a top order batter. He can bat because Sanju you say has batted in middle order in ODIs. So you can consider, but KL Rahul has also
And also
batted in
T20 is also.
No, he is not.
Middle order,
No, he has not.
Sanju Samson is not
Not
open.
lower order, not
By the
lower
way,
order.
T20 has KL also. So your argument there falls flat. You can pick your thing by saying no. I don't like the. I mean, for example, if I were you, I would say no. I don't think KL bats at the strike rate that I'm looking at, and I want to go with Sanju Samson. Fair argument.
But that was the second point that I was coming to.
I know, but you are saying वो ऊपर का आ ही नहीं सकता. But I'm saying that's flawed.
But again,
because
look,
both are exactly same in terms of batting.
There is none of our wicketkeeper contenders are batting in the position that they will be batting in the India 6th.
Except Jitesh Sharma.
Now there is a problem. Jitesh is not giving you runs. He's not giving you the strike rate.
Sure.
So he is giving you a strike rate.
But okay, you
is
will be
giving you a strike
happy
rate.
with a 10 out of 3.
Yes.
But if
Yes.
it doesn't help you,
Why, if you're happy with 16 out of 10 today,
I'm
I will
happy
be
with-
happy with 10 out of 3 too.
but if it doesn't help you, in this case it won.
But
but then
Vijay
that's
Shankar is an
subjective, na,
exception.
Baba?
He'll be happy
But that's
with most
subjective.
things.
No, but
You
then
don't
see,
know
a
if it will help you
14
or
of
not.
8, a 14 of 8 is fine if you win. But then if you don't win, Jitesh's form has been miserable ever since he started
Just
playing.
now we were complimenting Gujarat for having team contributions and everything, and now we're saying Jitesh should be scoring more than 10 out of 3.
Look,
I don't
if
know.
you get a KL Rahul in, okay, now the argument that he's making is if he
I'm
hits
not
a century.
I'm not saying he should be in, but I'm
No,
saying
I'm asking his argument. 2022, the same batting lineup is playing in 2024. Where is the change in
But then
approach?
wait,
Where is
Pant
it?
comes back, it's pretty much the same. No?
It's
Then
same.
You've switched out only
That
one
means
batter.
all the things that you did from 2023 to 2024 were a waste.
But that's exactly what you are doing. You got a Pant back. He said Jitesh, but you're doing the same.
I am
thing.
saying a Sanju or a Pant comes in, but Jitesh is now
the same
third
thing
in
I
the
said.
list, which is not happening.
But you're saying the same batting order is going. So he gave you a wicketkeeper batter who's not the same batting order. But that's not the one you want to go with. You're picking the one who went.
90% of our batting is the same.
So that's what you're
But that's
picking
what I
also.
want to change. That's why I was
Your
not
two
sticking with
major
Jitesh.
albatrosses are back. That is why your entire team composition has gone for a
But then
toss.
that has nothing to do with say, picking Jitesh or picking Rinku.
Okay, we can't
No,
go.
it is no. In the case of Rinku, it has. It has to be Yashasvi / Shubman or a Rinku because Rohit and Virat are there. It's not Yashasvi /
Okay,
Shubman
let's-
and Rinku.
Let's pick our.
Team KL was opener.
Okay, no, now let everyone. This argument will go on.
good.
You pick your wicketkeeper batter, and everyone is entitled. So,
I will stick with the same choice I've been going with, and that is Jitesh Sharma. He
And-
has to be
and
my
no,
first
and-
choice, and the second choice will be Sanju. Because those were the ones you went with, and more importantly, Sanju has shown that he can sometimes play out of position. Pant, that 122 strike rate of his came majority whilst batting at 6. People tend to forget that.
okay, who are your two wicketkeepers?
Sanju and Rishabh.
Sanju and Rishabh. Okay, done. And you gave your argument. So there's no. See, I mean, on Sanju Samson, I'll only talk about Sanju Samson, what he's done. I think somewhere I have a feeling that while he has been very unlucky and not got a chance at the time, but on a lot of occasions, I think the blame also lay with him because he failed to show consistency. I think I see a different Sanju Samson this time, and I get a feeling from here that he realizes and that hunger to be at a World Cup is there because he's not, reverse aging. He is at a stage where there will be not too many World Cups ahead of him. I think somewhere that realized he always had the talent. I think we were all fans of Sanju Samson, the batter, in terms of his talent, all of us. But at times we supported when he was not picked because we did see that he would play a brilliant inning and then 5 failures and a brilliant inning, and that was a problem with him. I think he himself, and that didn't change for a few years, I think he himself has realized that this probably is a chance that he has to make it to a World Cup. He has a good chance, his name is doing the round, and all he needs to be, he has the strokes, strike rate will never be an issue with him. He has the ability to play longer knocks as well and smack it to any part of the ground. One thing that was missing was the consistency. I think somewhere he's realized that I may have to work doubly hard compared to everyone else to make the team. That realization hadn't reached him. He's a happy-go-lucky guy, played, did well, and took it as bad luck whenever he never got picked. I think this time he said, no, I will do everything that's in my control and let me change that perception and let me get that consistency. And then if I don't get picked, let's see. Let me do everything that's possible. And I think now he has reached a stage where he has to be given a ticket to be going to the T20 World Cup. He has to go. Right now, I'd say he's the front runner. And if with this form, this consistency, and these many slots opening up, if he once again does not make the cut for the World Cup, then I think it is going to be very unfair on him. Very, very unfair on him.
Then I'm trending that hashtag. Justice for Sanju.
Injustice done to Sanju.
Yeah, I think. But having said that, because we have such short memories, in 5 games we want somebody dropped, in 5 games we want somebody back. We still have a good 3 weeks to go, roughly around 3 weeks, slightly less than 3 weeks. That would be about 5-6 more games per team.
Let's see how the perceptions change after April 30th. If all the 3 contenders who are there in the T20 wicket-keeping slot, Jitesh, Sanju and Pant. If Pant has one colossal string of failures from April 12th onwards until April 30th, then his slot is gone. Sanju has the same ditto. Jitesh also. Then best amongst the worst. That will be your current situation when you have to look at it.
Okay, let's move on to the next player, Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill, remember the last time India, and I keep refreshing everyone's memory, the last time the Indian team played a T20 series, Shubman Gill was on the bench. Yashasvi Jaiswal was opening with Rohit Sharma. Shubman was part of the squad but was sitting on the bench. What does everyone think? Is Shubman Gill now your front runner to be opening with Rohit Sharma, the captain, who's already been announced the captain? So that at least we can say without any debate because the BCCI secretary announced him.
See, I said in the previous argument that Yashasvi Jaiswal looks like a soft target to be dropped because of the current form that he's in. It's a torrid draw form. How things change in a matter of 1 month. 712 runs in the test series, all the way now to this 5 matches for Rajasthan where he's not set the stage on fire. But the 2 games prior to this failure, I mean, he looked to be under pressure. But despite that, I had said that Yashasvi looks like a soft target, but I would play Yashasvi in the starting 11 for one simple reason, that he is a left-hander at the top of the order. It breaks that one-dimensional batting that you've got in the Indian cricket team.
So now suddenly the form does not matter.
As I said,
Jitesh is going to be out. No, but now you could have. I mean, I'm just saying because form is important for you. He's not giving. You could have said Yashasvi not giving me confidence. I may take him to the World Cup, but I'm going to start with Gill because he's giving me a lot of confidence. You've not done that.
As I said, there is no clear-cut, simple answer to whether Shubman should start or Yashasvi should start. I have said Yashasvi are not on the basis of form, but because he has the potential to break that one-dimensional thing that is there in the Indian batting that has been plaguing us for 3 to 4 World Cups on the trot.
Okay.
Yashasvi. Not only because of the left hand thing, that is a factor, but the main factor is he brings you the kind of single-handed ability to take the game away, which form doesn't really do justice to. I'm playing him based on his potential, and we've seen that potential. It's not untapped. It's not like in the case of a Pant where you're like, he's an explosive batter, but long T20I career tells you that perhaps not best suited to that format. Yashasvi, going back to 2022, the second half, his runs were very key in getting Rajasthan to the IPL final. Carried that on, good domestic season, got 100 or double 100 in the Irani trophy. Carried that forward to the IPL 2023, had a great year. Carried that to the international circuit. There was going to be a drop-off at some point. It's his bad luck that the drop-off comes right now. But I've seen enough of Yashasvi Jaiswal that if I have to pick one between him and Gill, I'm going with Yashasvi. It's a harsh call because I'm a big fan of Shubman Gill, and in an ideal world, they'd both be my openers. But if I have to pick one, it has to be Jaiswal.
Personally, I'd be tempted to go with Jaiswal too because he brings that X factor, right? I know that you were going with roughly the same batting lineup, and the one criticism was that you did not have that explosiveness, and now you will also have a Virat Kohli who will kind of play the anchor role. He'll have the responsibility of getting a lot of big runs, while the rest of them play very attacking cricket. I think Rohit has shown that he's ready to play that role of being the aggressor at the cost of not getting big totals. So he's made peace with that. I think Yashasvi could be the other guy. But I have a feeling that if this form continues, then the one who starts in the 11 will be Shubman Gill, and that's predominantly because of the reputation that Shubman comes with. Now he's an all format player. He's always been. Now he's been looked at as a future India captain.
Recency
He's
bias.
also got that kind of a reputation that he's a future legend. All of that things go in his favor, and he very well could be all of that I just mentioned. That I think it was a very tough decision to have left him out on the bench, but that is because he was going through a woeful form. But now that he's struck form, both in Test cricket before this and now in T20s, I think he's going to be a tough player to sit out or made to sit out. He comes with that reputation. Now the captain in the IPL as well. So I think all of that put his, the class with which he bats and the amount of fans that he has, not just in general public, but even former players. I think all of that put together, I do get a feeling that he may start. Whatever. But I know this for sure. You always take a backup opener. So both Yashasvi and Gill take that flight.
Yes, they will. But Nikhil, it's very interesting because see, when Shubman Gill didn't play in the Afghanistan T20s, what did we say at that time? He was dropped from the T20 setup, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was.
He was.
11.
He was.
Now look at the fortunes of Yashasvi and Shubman. Total 180 degrees.
Yeah, but I still feel Yashasvi should not be dropped from the squad for sure.
Of course, I think both are making it to the squad. But as we are saying, who will start in that 11? That's a very complicated thing. Because I have mentioned my squad. Correct me if I am wrong. The squad which will most likely
don't mention this. We have a lot of time.
Okay.
We want to do that. That's a different debate.
Yeah.
Keep this.
Yeah. Both Yashasvi and Shubman are making the trip to the US.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
for sure.
Let's start. Love Karan Toor from the US says, I was at my work and jumping on the last ball while all the customers laughing at me. What a game. Bow down to Tewatia and Rashid.
Tewatia, my
that's
man.
so incredible thing about cricket and the sport that we all love. Imagine if there was if Love Karan Toor had a CCTV footage of him doing that. We would love that.
Yeah.
He would send it to us. We would play it on Sports Today.
Yeah, I think you guys should actually do that. Sometimes just if you think a match is going to a thriller or something, record your reaction. It's not that hard. In today's day and age.
Inspiration right here. Who said it? The way he jumped from here to here, he would have broken the long jump record.
And that was a very organic reaction because no one in their right minds expected that to be the case.
It was a once in a million occurrence.
If you haven't seen it, it'll still be on Sports Today.
It is.
It's there.
Shane
It's
celebrating last year.
Of course.
When Rinku Singh went berserk.
No one predicted that ever, and boy, it was everybody sitting here were gobsmacked. We both were jumping around.
Yeah.
Okay, Ritvika Reddy from the US says, kudos to Sigby for being one of the first people to point out Kohli's troubles batting first. I hope he isn't selfish and doesn't... selfish.
Thanks,
Hog the strike versus MI.
But I think the pitch there will be very flat, and that's
the
why
pitch there will be helpful.
He can go at a much better strike rate.
Also, if in that pitch, Faf and Maxwell don't get runs, both need to be canned. Make Kohli captain for all I care. The way Faf has been batting, ain't happening.
Yeah. So that is why he is now, Dhirender Singh is saying, compare RR 2 matches, bat first and second, SR with Dew.
I don't think Dew...
Dhirender, there was no Dew today. Honestly, because
I don't think Dew was an issue.
There was rain and it made the outfield a bit wet, but that was not Dew.
Yeah, that's not Dew. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah. But if you look at Virat and Shubman thing we discussed, deep batting, RCB's case, no batting. Simple.
Okay, Divyank is with a comment that Siddharth will love. He says, VS is the GOAT, Vijay Shankar. He changed the momentum towards
He's
Gujarat.
sarcastic on the first part, but yes, he
But
changed
he
the
did
momentum
change.
indeed. That's
So how do you know he's sarcastic?
first part. Second part is factual.
But maybe he's, backing up his second part.
No way. No way.
Okay.
Shubham Garg, Nick sir, do you think ICC needs to do something with toss in T20 cricket? In 2021 World Cup, Australia won all tosses. In 2022, England won toss in all knockout matches.
Yeah, that's true actually. But 2022, the winning of the toss wasn't so pronounced as it was in 2021.
Yep.
That World Cup was
Win
Next
toss.
level.
Yeah, win toss, win the match. Win toss, put the opposition in, chase, win. Done. It was as simple as that. Yeah, I think you need to maybe change the timing, but then I know prime time is always like that. You can't do that. But I'm saying with all the technology around, now China has come up with an artificial sun and you can bring in artificial rain.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can come up with a technology that just makes dew redundant in a cricket ground at least. Maybe not in the entire city. I'm sure. Come on, you need
I
that.
mean, you can have Chat GPT to predict toss. A team you do this, team you do that, rather than just
Yeah,
head or tail.
yeah, something.
Yeah. Mr. Shaker GTN, Avade, time and time again, GT proves they are never down and out
He's a
until the
GTN.
last ball. But except Nixon, no one seems to learn their lesson. 2022 revisit.
Mr. Shekhar was definitely very emotional when he wrote this message, because I'm the only one in this panel for 2024 who actually put GT there. So,
But Mr. Shaker.
But I rather prefer a GTN than Playerians.
wholeheartedly, I'd rather have a team support.
Okay, but for Mr. Shaker 2022 revisit, boss 2023 revisit. Please, Mr. Shaker. Why don't you only have to say 2022?
No, I mean, even now, by the way, they're not in the top 4. So,
But they will.
They'll be probably 6th or 7th.
6th.
Oh, yeah, 6th.
they've taken the permanent spot of Punjab
Oh
Kings.
no!
Can't do that.
That's terrible.
That's reserved for only one team.
Top 6 are everything.
Exactly.
PBKS, they've taken that.
Yes.
And
Rakesh Bhushan, Hardik not bowling in last 3 matches, then no point in him boarding the flight to World Cup. Ouch. Shivam Dube on current form is much more lethal and he's clearing boundaries at will, and him being a left-hander adds more
And
value.
then go with only 5 bowling options. Great.
But Rakesh Bhushan, Hardik has stated that he will bowl at the right point in time. It's not a fitness issue.
Yeah.
There were a lot of other bowlers in the DC game, so he did not need to
Yeah,
bowl.
and to be fair, his bowling had taken a bit of a pasting last couple of games. I don't blame him for maybe saying, okay, I'll take a timeout, especially on that Mumbai pitch, which is a belter.
Of course.
no, I think for the Indian team, you would need a fast bowling all-rounder, and I think
Correct.
Hardik brings that.
Yeah.
No.
Big match.
Unless you want to take a risk and bring on Shardul, who's only played 1 game, no, you're not doing that.
You can't, yeah. Sarthak Arya, I don't know why GT team and management reminds me of Brad Pitt's team from the movie Moneyball.
Yeah, it's an
Ah.
interesting comparison.
I haven't seen Moneyball, so I don't know.
So, the original Moneyball team was Rajasthan Royals. Interestingly, the team
2008.
that they're playing, yes.
Yes.
They called the Moneyball team because they calculated in Moneyball. Lovely movie, you must check it out. Based on a true story, might I add. But yeah, you're right. It does, and that's exactly what I said at the start of the show, that it did seem like that they had everything in check. Whatever the Moneyball formula, while they were going through the chase, at different points where you and I were fretting over the game's done or they left it too late, I think in their own calculations they were up with the chase. So yeah, that's an interesting comparison. Maybe they are the current Moneyball team.
Yeah. Virender Singh with a lot of statistical bombardment, stat attack that is there. VK for India, 42 matches bat first, 25 wins at 150 strike rate, 17 losses, 132 strike rate. Okay, 5 times 10 runs, 6
Less
times,
than 10
less
runs.
than 10 runs,
6 times more
greater than
160
160.
strike rate, only 6 times less than 150
50
strike
strike
rate, and
greater than 10 runs, greater than 10 runs.
Greater than, Jesus.
Average 60, strike rate 140, on top he in chase. Virender Singh, what I have been saying very crisply, Virat struggles in first innings batting. He's a chase
You
goat.
didn't need to give us a math lesson at 12:40.
At 12:40, Virender Singh.
I hated
Are you
that.
serious?
No,
You could have mentioned it much more crisply, my friend. Greater than, less than, equal to. I'm not a trigonometry class, for crying out
No,
loud.
no. If it were a trigonometry,
Come on.
if it were a trigonometry class,
Hey, Asha, he's joining
Broken
you
it down
live.
nicely.
He's sparing time, speaking to you, sent you a super chat.
But we don't want a algebra or a trigonometry lesson.
That's okay. I think there is a.
That was the first book I tore after I finished school.
That's okay, but there is a there is a limit, character limit that has been pointed out by a lot of people.
KJU.
Yes, he did point out that there is a character limit. He's trying to make his point, and thank you so much for making that point, Dhirendra.
Thank you.
But what is his point? Instead of dissing him, he is saying that basically that even bat first, he's got decent numbers, and of course he's a chase master.
Of course.
So he's saying that whether it's bat first or chase, he's world class.
As I said, those numbers, please look at it with a bag full of salt. Please. Even if it's Virat. Please. Suryansh Sharma. A lot of strike rate analysis is inaccurate because of impact player rule. Because of an extra batter, values of cameos increases.
Correct.
point.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But if you're in a team like RCB, where even if you get 2 impact players and you're not getting enough runs, somebody would have to take the responsibility.
Then it's all the more reason you should be analysing the batting, because something is definitely wrong there.
Yeah. Rakesh Bhushan with 2 super chats. First is, why impact player rule when the same is not in international matches? This has made IPL look pure pajama cricket. All rounders have been negated and we have proper batsmen till 6-7 numbers and impossible targets are being chased.
Agreed.
I've said this a gazillion times before, Rakesh Bhushan. Never a fan of this impact rule. And I think the BCCI needs to do something about it. Everyone that I've spoken to, whether it's a sports journalist, whether it is a former player, even current people involved in IPL, nobody is a fan. Yet for some reason they will continue
And soldier on with it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you ask accountability from players. I think accountability is from the. I mean, these are lawmakers for IPL at least, not globally. They need to be questioned too. Not good idea. Not a fan. The whole fun of a cricket game is to get that balance right.
Correct.
You know, to have the personnel to give you the best balance. Just give another option. It's like, what's the point? It's like, you know,
it's a cheat code.
Yeah, it's like you're racing, and the fun is to be able to ride fast on that track as fast as possible. And you're saying, you know what? Even if you go off track, it's okay. There'll be no bumpers.
Penalties.
There'll be no pebbles, nothing. You can drive. What's the point? Just open, wide thing. Everyone drives fast. What's the fun?
Rakesh Bhushan, in good old days, Norm was selecting best 11, then naming your captain by selectors. Here, neither we named our 11 nor selector named captain. Secretary on some function announces the captain. Isn't it mockery of entire procedure? Well, what procedure? Rakesh Bhushan, what procedure?
A valid point.
Yep.
Things have changed. It's not. It's been.
Good old days.
As I said, it was good old days.
It's neither good nor the old. So.
More than 2 decades that I've seen it closely, covering as a journalist, traveling, seeing press conferences out function. I used to think that, oh man, you know, with time things will get better, more professionalized. While some things have, and it's not just now, all along BCCI has done a lot of fantastic things. That's why cricket is the sport it is, one of the fastest growing in the world, one of the highest paid in the world. All that is brilliant, but that's also got to do with how the fans consume and how they're invested there. But there are still a lot of areas that can improve, which at least we'll look at some other more popular sports around the world, how they're managed, run, everything. I think there is a lesson. There's no harm if you're improving in one thing, there's no harm improving others also. Be an all-round fantastic property, no? Why not?
Sarthak Arya, in my opinion, the reason Pant gets an edge over anyone else is that he has proven that he's a big match player. Gaba, Manchester final ODI, 39 and WC21 versus Park.
Manchester final ODI cannot be considered a big game. It was the last game of a bilateral series.
And it was a series decider though.
No, even so, bilaterals India are kings.
It's the format, na?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like today you're having a debate about Virat Kohli, right? No, none less than Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
It's only because of a format. Otherwise, can you think of not having a Virat Kohli in any test team or an ODI team you pick? Can you even think about it? No. The fact that you are even allowed to have a debate about Virat in T20 is because of a different format. Now giving examples of ODI and test matches.
And also 39 in World Cup 21 versus Park. My friend, you lost that match by 10 wickets. Yeah. What sort of an impact?
And in that game, the highest run scorer, if I'm not mistaken,
was also Virat.
Yeah, and there you can't even question his strike rate because
everyone else just went for a toss.
You just needed runs. Forget the strike rate.
Yeah.
Okay, Dhirendra Singh said exact words after India-England SF T20 on Sports Today. VK only performed in the T20 World Cup and discussed even captaincy in T20. Shane was in video as well. Okay, I am not discounting the fact VK performed. I am saying that VK, as far as runs were concerned, he was there, right up there. We are not disputing that. But then, when was that? 2 years ago. A lot has changed.
And in that time, the first T20 that he played after that particular match was 24. Which again, U-turn.
Exactly. It's the U-turn we are worried about. And honestly, batting first, we saw his struggles in 2022. Speaks for itself.
Divyang says it's simple. Selectors will go with the wicketkeepers in form. Rishabh Pant and Sanju Samson right now, but just because that's the case doesn't mean...
No, that's fine. We've all given our opinion. Divyang has his... Okay, Divyang. Sure. Interesting. That's what we love the sport for. It is. I think we'll have many opinions. I'm just happy that no one's really come up. I mean, somebody did come up with a KL Rahul's name as well. So.
Well, KL Rahul in like T20 cricket and
Well,
World
well,
Cup
that's what I'm
has a
saying.
strike rate of 140. Despite his strike rate woes, his strike rate is only 140.
He suggested it. So
So it's actually baffling.
That was a counter.
but there could be somebody who would say like next few games Ishan Kishan smashes.
No, I'll tell you why those runs and that strike rate was so inflated.
Bring him
Yeah, because it was against Namibia.
5 of his great knocks have come only against the minnows.
Namibia, Scotland.
Yeah, Netherlands. That's it.
Netherlands.
Where is he got a chance? Has he gotten a chance?
Which are the World Cup with he doesn't even
See,
play.
Sanju, T20 World Cup, he'll play only ODIs. ODI World Cup here, he'll play T20s. That's Sanju's kismat. Okay. Shubham Gar, funny thing is.
No, wait, Karthik K.
Oh, Karthik K. Oh, Jaiswal opening with Rowe is different / mature than with.
No, I don't see any difference in the way Jaiswal plays with either Jaws or Rohit.
Yeah.
It's the same player. In fact, because both are captains of their own teams, both tend to take a little bit of a backseat when batting with Jaiswal because he's such a maverick player and he can do it so well that they're like, just let him do it. So Rohit, of course, he, in the ODI World Cup and all, took that upon himself that listen, I have to be the aggressor. But watch how he played in T20Is. He wasn't always that player. He would always just kind of let Jaiswal do his thing. Same with Joss. Second half of that season with Joss was having the wonder season in 22, where I thought, listen, this guy is breaking Virat Kohli's record, he's smashing it. Took a backseat once he saw Jaiswal doing what he was doing. Jaiswal isn't a different player, they're all the same.
Yeah. Shubham Garg. Funny thing is, people who score runs, we need to look at their runs with bag full of salt, while Sharma ji ka beta is front seat reserved in team. Shubham Garg, the funny thing is that you don't realize that we have both said, we have all been in unison saying, both Virat and Rohit don't deserve a callback into the Indian cricket team T20 setup.
It was basically
But I think Shubham's not again going after you or anyone. Shubham is just talking about in general that while people raise questions about Virat Kohli, nobody does that for Rohit Sharma, and don't get upset by that because Shubham is a self-confessed Virat Kohli fan,
Correct.
and he is going to diss Rohit Sharma, but that
I know.
he is entitled to do that.
I
Okay,
know.
Shubham.
We are entitled to do a lot of things indeed. Because as Shubham Garg says, he's entitled to do a lot of things. I hope.
He didn't say that, I said it.
Yeah. I hope fans boo Hardik Pandya tomorrow. So we can have our weekly refresher course on fans' behavior tomorrow.
By the way, last game was very interesting. There was
Yeah.
no booing for Hardik Pandya. That's because fans weren't even allowed. The only school kids who were sent to the
18,000
stadium.
school kids.
So there were hardly any fans. So
Yeah.
that's one way of ensuring that there's no booing.
Yeah. But
But we'll find out.
yeah, we'll
next
find out
game.
tomorrow. But Shubham Garg, bad behavior is bad behavior. And
booing is okay.
you can't hide behind that. I mean, if
I agree. Booing is absolutely fine. Not bad behavior.
if it's legitimate,
Yeah, though, for them
in the
it's
case
a-
of Hardik Pandya, it's not.
why not? For
No?
them it is.
That's what misplaced priorities,
No,
na?
but Siddharth, again, you may find it, but if somebody else, that's what I said, you may think, for example, Rohit Sharma should be in the team, and if somebody thinks no, it's opinion. There's
That's
nothing right or wrong.
subjective.
Similarly, if they may be unhappy about various other things. You don't know. They're not happy about his demeanor. They're not happy. That's what fans are. If they're not happy, as I said,
As I said, demeanor is subjective.
no, but exactly, no.
So is
No,
this
exactly.
opinion.
So that's why they can have an opinion. So if for somebody, if it's subjective, for you go to the stadium, you don't need to boo him, absolutely. Because it's subjective. You will tell. For somebody else, it's different. And if he does, it's fine. Novak Djokovic gets the hate not because of how the player he is or what he's done. It's because of some people just hate his guts. And that's it. And I'm not saying they're right to do it or wrong to do it. For some, he may be a superhero, the greatest ever, and they are. And for some who hate his guts, they just will, cheer anybody who's playing against him.
Correct.
I am
Yeah,
only stating
fine.
that in the Hardik Pandya case, you are all setting a very dangerous precedent. You won't realize it now. You will probably realize it
Not
2-3
at all.
years later.
You're saying as if this thing is born with Hardik Pandya, and so what is happening today will have repercussion. Boss, Hardik Pandya was not even born when certain things have taken place in the sport, and the sport hasn't changed.
And we
It's
all
continued to
glorified
be
that,
fine.
haven't we?
No, we have. So, but the sport hasn't changed. By and large, the fans have been very reasonable. And if the fans are going to be robotic, then it will be a problem.
I mean,
think this is not the first instance of this happening, and then you're predicting that, oh, this has happened, now wait, we are doomed. No, this happened before he was born. And we are not doomed.
See,
it happened 30 years, 40 years, 50 years before, and we are not
we
doomed.
called
We are all in a
out,
happy
certain players and legends called out booing, and we all backed them. Oh, it's not needed. In the case of Hardik Pandya, I don't know why there is an air of legitimacy coming about.
No, I just
don't
FYI,
think, excuse me, I don't think anyone questioned, for example, Steve Smith being booed. A lot of people said if the crowds have, yes, if you abused him and you brought all that, that was wrong. I don't think, I'll speak for myself. I remember writing an article at that time, and I was like, this is what he's going to get because of what they did.
He cheated.
Yes.
Did we endorse
I did.
Sachin
Yes,
Tendulkar
I
get
did.
booing?
I did. No.
No,
Excuse me.
Sachin Tendulkar got booed at Wankhede.
Excuse me, you just said, no, I'm going to go one by one. No. You just said that it's happened and everywhere we, have selectively picked on Hardik Pandya. I give an example of Steve Smith. Then you had a situation where Virat Kohli came and said, don't boo him. But that's Virat Kohli's opinion, which is what I'm saying. Right now, if you have an opinion and if you go to the ground and you see nothing wrong in what is happening, you don't want to boo Hardik Pandya, you're absolutely right. But if I want to, I'm also right. The problem with you is you are ensuring that every one of us agree that no, it is wrong to boo. Why? I'm happy for you if you go to the ground and you think Hardik has done nothing wrong, you don't want to boo him. Am I forcing you to boo? No. I'm saying you're right. If you don't want to boo him, you're absolutely right. Fine. But if I have felt hurt as a Mumbai Indian fan with what has happened, or I do not like his demeanor, or I do not like him smiling when you're losing, whatever be the reason, I have the right to boo. But you are saying no. I have set a diktat. I am not booing him because that's the thing. You will also not boo. Shane, you will also not XYZ. No, you can't do that. What I'm doing is not anything illegal. I'm not crossing the line. I'm hurt. I'm going to do it. And they're allowed.
Look, in the case of Sachin Tendulkar, we all called the fans out. But they were exercising their right to freedom. In the case of Virat Kohli, the fans were doing it, but Virat Kohli himself expressed a problem. Then we backed Virat, it's not done.
Actually, I was perfectly okay with fans
exactly.
booing him back then.
But a majority then, as fickle as the fan base is, they decide, no, it is wrong, it's Virat Kohli. No, it's wrong, it's Sachin Tendulkar. Why then have separate kind of things for Hardik Pandya when it is in the same ambit?
I can't remember calling out fans when they booed Sachin Tendulkar.
But the whole media said the behavior of the fans was disgraceful.
For booing?
Yes, because how can they have that audacity to boo Sachin Tendulkar at the Wankhede? But boy, at that time, freedom of expression under Article 19 was something different for you guys. That's the problem.
I don't know. People have booed Virat Kohli. I don't think once have I gone after the crowd for booing him. There have been times that he's made gestures to the crowd they have not been happy about. They've done it. So,
but in
as
the case
long as
of
you do not swear. Or
Hardik has never retaliated, and that is where they are taking advantage of this.
विराट को तो एक बार सीएसके फैंस ने वो किया था, उसने जाके गाली दी थी.
So ठीक है, that's fine.
He reacted and he has to react. Bad behavior is bad behavior. And if it's abuse, sorry, you have to be chucked out.
Booing and abuse are two very
Exactly
different
my
things.
point. You are just blurring that.
It's the
Nobody
same
spoke
thing.
about abuse. You putting that abuse thing. Nobody said don't shift the goalpost. You only spoke about booing.
Are we all so naive that the Indian fan is just booing? Are we so naive about this fact? The Indian fan, under the garb of booing, have given him such vile abuses which you can't even say on
No
air.
one's condoning or.
Have you been to a ground? Has he been to the ground? I don't know. I didn't see that. But
You've all
you're-
seen
you're-
enough of it to just understand that the Indian fan is not that sophisticated that they'll just be booing. Please. The Indian cricket fan has been causing problems in this world ever since 1969 by the amount of disgraceful behavior that they've been doing. Please, and if you want a particular thing, fan behavior, there is a reason why I have said it. And the scars run deep. There is a reason. Yeah.
Anything more?
No.
Nothing else.
Okay. On that note, thank you.
Tomorrow it's the Gudi Padwa derby. MI versus RCB tomorrow.
But why is it a Gudi Padwa?
Because it's happening after Gudi Padwa festivities. It's happened yesterday.
Yeah, but what has RCB got to do with it?
It's just happening. MI versus RCB. Just want to give a name to it.
But if it was like Mumbai versus Pune, then it would be.
Actually, I want to give something. But I don't want to give it a TN's kind of battle of this TN versus TN.
It's the Roko derby.
It is the Roko derby. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, Rohit Kohli.
Roko derby.
Yeah,
That's what is being marketed.
That's better.
Puran Poli, then we can have.
Puran Poli to Kohli.
Rocco derby.
But there is a Swedish
there's
called
a
Puran
new
Puri.
captain in town. So
Technically neither of them are
Actually, yeah.
captains, but both are. But then that I was also looking at it, but then I'm like,
Yeah.
for years I've seen El Clasico games modeled around Ronaldo, Messi.
Yeah.
Neither was
that
always
reminds me,
captain.
football started. We gotta wind
Oh,
up.
yeah.
What an exciting game we witnessed last night. 2 games.
Exciting
Tonight-
games.
Tonight, my club's playing. The game started. I don't want
yeah.
to be here anymore. So sorry. Bye bye.
Barcelona PSG, right?
Yes. Good night. Take care.
See you tomorrow.
Vanakkam, Nandri, whatever. Eat your vegetables.
Don't trouble your mother.
Blue in Govinda's word. Blue.